Are rolling. Market vitals, the levels you need to triage the market. HFR from the floor, Bobby Heff, mistrade Matt Davio, Matt, you shared in the room. No, actually, you didn't share it in the room. You just shared it with me. Yeah, I know. We're being live streamed. Xi. Hi, Xi. Everybody wave the Chinese intelligence agency as we are zooming, and you know they're watching. They have to be. Matt, speaking of communists, you shared this, and let me share it because I thought it was fantastic. Most of your shares are. When everyone thinks you've been launching missiles in the ocean because you're a madman, in reality, you've been the only thing holding back Godzilla for years. First of all, I went full Kim Jong with my hairdo. Love it. Peaky Blinders, Kim Jong. Although he likes to tighten up the comb over a little bit more than I do.
Comb over. but you don't have any balding, so it's not really a comb over.
You know, the thing that blows me away is nobody's actually on this tack that like the missile launches are just to keep Godzilla in his quarantine. He's been quarantined 2 weeks.
When was the last time we had a new Godzilla movie? I mean, it's been at least a decade. I mean, I know they've done some new ones in recent times, but yeah, he has been quarantined.
Oh yeah, dude. Did you used to go in the Sunday paper and get out the TV guide and like scour for? I used to scour. I scoured for Godzilla movies, for Marx Brothers movies.
Ooh, yeah. See, but we had yes, I did.
Right, the TV guide. You'd pull it out and you'd hunt. You know, through the listings on channel 50, because it wasn't going to be on a network.
No, right? It was on the UHF side of things for sure.
Yeah, you got to get the rabbit ears going. Like,
yeah, you got to stand like this and hold it here.
You got a Night at the Opera going, and you're actually a ballerina trying to keep the feet in. Matt, we have never ever looked at. First of all, I don't know what the currency in North Korea is. It's probably bread and coal chunks. I would imagine is pretty good currency in North Korea. But South Korea, let's look at the South Korean won on won.
Oh, you beat me to it. Won on won. Yeah, it's again, this pretty much follows the dollar. I mean, this is the dollar over the won, and this is a weekly chart. Recently traded as high as 14.50 and currently in 14.25. And these highs here match up with the dollar highs that we saw in 97, and then also the dollar high that we saw, which is the 120 level, right? 15.93. So, and again, this is just a weekly chart looking out quite a ways, but you can see that really hasn't, not much has changed there for follow the dollar and you follow the won. It's pretty basic.
Matt, let me ask you, yesterday's action after FOMC, I thought the dollar was reacting sooner than the stock market crapped out.
It did.
Am I wrong? I thought it was a pretty good.
Well, because those notes are released early, like they're released like 15 minutes before. So you could have saw them, I could have saw them, and indeed they've been ripping. And we got up to about 113, but hasn't been so strong the rest of the day. So I don't see us really, selling off. Unless we get through this 113 level, I don't really see us selling off further. Here, I thought I brought that up.
No, bring up the dollar. We talked about it.
Yeah, we tagged 113, but I don't, the market sold off this morning and then it rallied and then it sold off again. And we're kind of in, we're red for the day, but I don't see it like going to new lows unless this can somehow break out and make a new high today. So unless we can get back over that 113, I kind of think we might be putting in a temporary bottom after that whoosh yesterday again, after the Fed. Again, the Fed is not cutting fast enough, or excuse me, it is not raising fast enough and large enough. And Powell continues to say that too. So his whole demeanor, whether he's lying or not, doesn't matter. He said it. And the market reacted. But again, we're not taking out new lows. We're not making new lows in the indices. Matter of fact, that I would say the S&P is fairly strong as long as it kind of holds that 3690 level. It's doing much better than the tech rec. And I think we can talk a little bit about the tech.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that in a second here.
Yeah.
Let me share one thing too, though, before we get over to that. I want to share.
But I just want to point this out again. We traded 3505 on the SPOOs, 3503 or so, and we got all the way up to the 3950 level, which we talked about. And again, pretty much as advertised. And again, I still see the top of that. I think we could still make a run towards 4,000 if we hold kind of this 3650 level, really down to 3640. This profile looks pretty decent. So again, I was buying that 3,700 level this morning. That paid off nicely. You got a good percent rally. The NASDAQ had a nice rally. You had a sell off the beginning, and then now it's kind of turning, if you will, a little bullish. Again, here's the intraday charts. We're kind of sitting right at the 50% range. I mean, on the NASDAQ, it's 10,800. The SPOOs, I would say, are a little stronger. They keep coming down here to like 25, but they didn't really dip as much as the NASDAQ did here, which makes sense because the NASDAQ continues to get hammered while big energy continues to get bought, and Biden continues to be wrong about all of it.
Thank you, man. Let me share. I'm going to share the back to the one-on-one because I just noticed this, and I want to. This is the weekly, and when you see something like this on this weekly chart, it screams one of two things. Either there is such a giant whale here that wants to sell dollars and buy yuan up here, or it's central bank intervention. I mean, markets generally don't just screech to a halt at a level, especially currency markets, where it looks like this. And so for me, if I was trading the yuan, or I actually will pay attention to this because I think once that level goes, once they decide that they can't defend it anymore, there's another big move coming. Right. Anyway, I just wanted to point that out. I was shocked when I saw it.
And when you look at that again, Bob, bring that up again. But what is that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that was 6. It's like 6 weeks. Those are weeklies.
Yep.
And you had one, and which matches up with the 6 weekly ups before that, right? So
yeah,
mirroring time. And now I think what you'll see is either a break higher or obviously a break down lower, maybe to your 1390 level. And then
exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's bracketed pretty good, 1410 to 1450, whatever. I just wanted to point that out.
Right.
Looks like something I've seen before, and that is central bank intervention.
Correct.
All right, Matt, let's get rid of Kim. And we got to talk about, I said yesterday, Matt, that 2 days ago, there was 2 buses that they took, one for the Phillies players and one for their bats. Obviously, one of two things happened. Jill Biden goes to the game and they get no hit, or they forgot to bring the bus of their bats, and they just they seem to go. I mean, there was some fantastic pitching from the Houston side. It's amazing. It's amazing too how sometimes when it's just bad baseball and there's no scoring, that's one thing. But when these pitchers are, I mean, that was ridiculous.
Yeah, but Nola, the first 5 innings, until he loaded the bases, and then they yanked him out, and the relievers. I would have left the guy in. I would have let him try to work it out because he was not pitching poorly. You had 3 dink singles that just loaded the bases again. I would have let him give up a run, and it's only 1-0, maybe on a sac fly, and then he gets a double play on the next ball. I don't know. I think that was a
critical.
Again, I think it was a bad move because I think it changed the composite of the game. I think they probably would have played a little bit differently if it was only 1-0, right? And they might have had a pinch hitter and maybe try to bunt the ball and try to move a guy around with the stolen base.
Little small. I mean, Matt, I'm semi-naive about a lot of things. But how is Jill Biden the new Drake? Is Drake the mush for who?
Toronto.
For the Raptors.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Back to round ball.
All
right.
Yeah, she's the mush. I mean, whatever.
All right, man. I'm going to share again here because we got to talk tech. Let's talk technical. Let me get technical with you. And that is, where is it? Let's back to there. Okay, hold on a second. Not the one. I want to come here to this post shared by e-commerce shares. Thank you. Wasteland Capital. Sounds like some place I'd feel comfortable in. Wasteland Capital. Anyway, he says Meta is a flaming dumpster fire. Missed guide even worse. Revenue down 4%. Costs up 19%. Users flat. Average ad price down 18% year over year. CapEx 2x. Added 19,000 employees. Almost 30% year over year. 19,000 employees.
Hey, Bob, it's expensive to run a censorship organization because AI can't, really depict a lot of pictures and a lot of drawings and these things. It can do words, but if it's not typed and it's a picture, you need people. So yeah, censorship is expensive. Look at the government; they censor. I think Zuckerberg must be an arm of the government. I mean, it works just like it.
So cost 85 billion in 22, going to go up to 101 billion in 23. Matt, that seems like a disastrous business model with your ad revenue down, declining, your users flat. All of it is it's unbelievable. We talked about this. We've actually talked about this stock a lot. Bring it up because it makes more sense now when we look at the chart and when we talk about the long-term price discovery on where this thing is heading.
Yeah. Again, the COVID low 138. We're now at 86, Bob. 86, and we're getting there. We're getting close. I think the 77 level should find some support, and that's only $12 away from here. So let's see what happens. But that's definitely one of the big pieces putting pressure. And I've read a couple reports on the fact that Apple supposedly has their virtual reality headset that they're going they're going to announce, and it's going to be much more robust because they are in the hardware business more than Facebook has bought Oculus and some of these things. But there's a reason why Oculus wasn't bought by Apple. It was probably too soon. It's probably not ready. And I bet you Apple said, well, shit, we can make this better ourselves. So maybe that's the reason why Apple is kind of hanging in there, because some people got word that this is coming, and it might be coming maybe by the first of the year. They're saying a surprise mid-year new product announcement for the Apple people.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah, I've seen it over the last couple of days. We'll see what happens. That's just what I've been reading. I don't know if it's true. I don't know. So.
All right, Matt. One more share here. Hi, we're getting good at this, I think. Let me tweet that horn. Matt, this was shared, and again, I am not an expert whether this was recent or not, but that sure looks like Uncle Joe's getting a drip on a daily basis. Looks, I don't know what they're dripping him with. This has been all over social media. Obviously,
you would probably have to ask, Klaus and Obama what they're putting him in.
It looks like there's he's doing a stint as president. We all know that.
Yeah,
but that looks like a stint. This is our segue, by the way. Sometimes we just want a good segue into some other price discovery.
Right? Yeah, no. So since really, in my opinion, Baxter's probably the biggest name when it comes to drips. Saline bags. These guys sell a lot of it. It's kind of what they're known for, and them well. They're out of Chicago. And again, traded as high as 95 here. Again, the reverse COVID play here, because this peaked. It bottomed and peaked within a month. So check that out. I mean, we bottomed. The COVID low was here at 69 and went all the way up to 95. And then since then, so this thing has just been on a trend down, which is interesting.
Do me a favor here, because we talk about this all the time, and actually did it. Draw that bracket that it obviously sat in, and then when it broke the low of the bracket, it mirrored that that price discovery range. Because I know, exactly. We do this a lot, and we talk about how once it breaks one side of this bracketing, it'll probably go about that far lower.
Yeah,
Or
this
higher.
is 72 to, let's just call it 70 to 90, $20. And sure enough, we're right there. We're back here at 50. And this is the next level. So that makes sense, right? Totally makes sense. And then below that, you got another $12 down to the point of control. But this is equally as strong as this. So it may just stop here and get a rest. And with the number of unexpected deaths growing. I mean, these numbers out of UK are scary. I mean, people aren't talking about it, but the young people dying is going through the roof. I mean, it's up higher again year over year, and it's 5x, 6x, 7x what it was in 2019, right? So something's going on. Something's going on.
Yeah, please explain it to me.
Just
Matt, let me ask
explain
you
it.
a question. Do they pay a dividend? I can't see on that small screen.
Baxter pays a dividend about 2.25.
They're going to need all these companies are going to need to up their dividend game. All of them.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And it's a $25 million legacy business. It's again a lot of heart products, a lot of saline, a lot of solution products, a lot of delivery of said things to hospitals. So they're very big. They used to be much bigger, but they kind of sold off, took some things public on the cardiac side back in the 90s, early aughts, and now it's just kind of whatever's left, I think, of this legacy business. So think about that.
All right. What else we got? What else we got on?
But hospitals
Thursday?
are full. I would love to see the numbers. We've been talking about kind of West Coast, and we have knowledge of family that works in both locally where we are, and then Seattle, and I talked to some medical people in SoCal, and all these places are just swamped. Like people are coming in sick, young and sick, not old and sick. And it's not the flu and it's not COVID. Again, I don't know what it could be.
I don't know, but censuses are through the roof on the West Coast for sure. And we haven't even got into the cold and flu season. I'm just getting over my cold, by the way. Tested, it wasn't COVID.
You got tested?
There happens to be a fair amount of the test kit, so we might as well use them. I could have used them as a Halloween costume.
Is Joe sending more test kits out this year?
I'm that guy. Like if they're giving something away free, I'll take 30 of them. Let's go. Bring them. I don't know. Maybe we can repurpose them.
Hey, let's talk a little. We were making fun yesterday of all these talking heads. Being pushed to the breakfast show. Right? You got Don Lemon, and he just kicked off his breakfast show this week to abhorrent, just god awful numbers. And your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, let's just say this, that legacy media and legacy narratives are having a problem. And the biggest problem now is that even their own know they're a joke. I mean, this is why this is funny. Even your own teammates. I mean, she's trying to say, laugh my ass off, a billionaire earnestly trying to sell people on the idea that free speech is actually $8 a month subscription plan. And Elon says, your feedback is appreciated. Now pay the $8 or shut up.
If you want to keep spouting your mouth off, pay. And what does she care? What does she care? She makes, she got her $10 million Netflix contract. F you.
It's unbelievable how fantastic it is.
I mean, I love how you can be a capitalist and then knock down the other capitalists. Like it doesn't make, what is wrong with these people?
Well, I mean, I think the hypocrisy is clear and evident. Clear and evident, and it's not even it's just a joke is what it is.
But I got a couple names I want to talk about with that. We had an earnings with ROKU, not a legacy, but one that again, it's another stick that you plug in and it's built into a lot of TVs. Exciting, right? We talked about this thing. I want to go all the way back to it because this was one of the best shorts we felt, and I remember talking about it just last summer of 21 on the double top here at 500. First top, double top, both of them were great. I mean, this thing, $4.91, Bob. Last night it traded all the way down here to 41 and change, 41.50. It's up today from that, but down from where it closed. So let's talk about reality. And you come back to this long-term chart. I mean, full on. I mean, COVID low, 59. People were, I'm sure the Benzinga boys thought that was, never going to be seen again. And they were loading up at 300 when we were talking about it here.
And another one, Matt, that did the perfect bracket and reversed it almost.
Yeah,
I mean,
$200, and that, 200 down from 300 gets you down to 100, and that gets you down to here, and then from there, again, we just strip off as the rest of the business just continues to get throttled. So yeah.
Let me. So I read some threads on this. In particular, they said that, and we know this, when you turn on a smart TV now, how many offerings there are
Right.
On that TV to activate an app for content.
Yeah.
And the one that we're talking about was what is it, Fubi or Fobu or
Fubi, I don't know.
Fubi, Tubi.
There's Tubi, there's Fubu, there's FU, there's
and so like
whatever, blah blah blah.
Roku does not have the corner on the market on 4-letter acronyms for TV content, apparently.
Right.
But I think it was Tubi is the one. I might be wrong here. Listen, everything on the show is guaranteed, probably. I know that the spirit of the thread was that there's just a lot more content choices available, and that's what they're facing. And one of them though is owned by Fox, and it's FOXA is the ticker. We've talked about Fox before on other.
Yeah, we've talked about Comcast, we've talked about Fox. Let's just look at it. Again, this thing was repurposed, came public, whatever is in it. I can't even tell you, this just came public again in 2019. Traded as high as 45 and sitting at 30 today. Dividend 1.66%. So like you said, not really giving us a lot to.
I mean, if you're making money, you got to pay more than that. And this is a pretty straightforward business model, right?
Yeah.
I just don't understand. And again, I mean, I think it's going to be some time before all of these companies understand that a higher interest rate environment means that you got to pay more to attract money. Right. And that's all there is to it. We are not in a zero interest rate environment anymore.
Yeah.
I just had some conversations with people like, money in a bank savings account. And I'm like, you don't even have to lock it up that much. I mean, you highlighted it yesterday, the 6-month rate, the 2-year rate.
Well, they're up significantly again since yesterday, right? Significantly. We're trading, I think the 2-year is now I think it traded to 4.7. We're at 4.685 now, up another 3% today. The 10 years at 4.15. So again, that spread that on that inversion, Bob, is growing. It is growing. It's so, Powell did nobody any justice yesterday by saying what he said, and things are not getting better.
Bingo.
They're not getting better.
What did I see?
Inflation, and how about the inflation again? Again, I shared some of these numbers in the network at marketvitals.io. Join us if you want some of this information as the days go by. It's beautiful information, and we share it for nothing. Come on in there. So,
yeah, we're trying to figure out the Elon side of this model still. Hey, I did see, we've talked about how still really no terrible news other than the inflation numbers, right? But Facebook hiring 30% more people. I don't know what they're smoking over there, but Wells Fargo ready to lay off pretty much everybody.
Oh, remember we talked about that too. We said that stock was looking okay, but they do a lot of mortgages, but that's going to go away. It's just going to go away.
The tweet that I read, like looking to lay off 90% of their mortgage departments because I can't believe that it's that number, but layoffs are going to start happening here. Jobs are going to. It has to start showing up in jobs.
Yeah, we're not laughing at it. By the way, we're not laughing.
Listen, I laugh at everything. It's my tick. All right, that's what I will laugh at the freight train. Anyway,
you will laugh at whatever you want to.
No, it's the reality of the cycle, Matt.
It is
it's just the reality of the cycle, and it hasn't shown yet. It just has not shown yet.
Right.
All I wanted to say.
That's all he wanted to say.
That's all I wanted to say. Please, he laughed. He laughed. Damn it. Matt, you shared also, let's talk music. We got to talk two things music here. There was how long ago from the Police album release?
44 years.
44. God, does that make me feel old as fuck?
Yeah, the Outlandis d'Amour came out in 78. And I definitely was not listening to the police in 1978. I was more about 1981, probably when Ghosts in the Machine. That was probably 82, something like that. That was probably when I entered to be a police fan. And I got to see them. Actually, they warmed up, I think, for, oh God, I want to say one of those, they had a pretty big, the Synchronicity tour. I think I saw them at the same time. The 84, you had the Police and you had Bowie coming out with Let's Dance. Those were some good albums. But the thing about the Police is that three guys, a drummer, a bassist, and kind of a guitarist, Sting. I don't know. What did he do? He didn't really play.
Yeah, just a fantastic evolution of the I don't know, what would you place them? It's somewhat,
I mean, it's kind of reggae, ska, rock and roll. I mean, it was, kind
right,
of
with a punk edge to it.
With a punk edge. I mean, they were really a sound that people hadn't heard before. So yeah, they were great. I mean, they were fun to see live, and Sting's close to 80. I mean, he's close to 80 now, dude.
That is insane.
They weren't young.
That is insane. All right, man, we got a couple days left here in the week.
Yeah, well, we got a day and a half. Let's call it what it is.
Let's leave with your expertise is NASDAQ. Let's just call a spade a spade. All right.
No, I love the spoos. They're just not as wide. Spoos actually paid me more today, so I don't really care what you want to look at.
All right. You know what? Let me share. You share enough. Let me share, because I want to jump back to the weekly.
Please.
And I just want to point out how incredibly weak this weekly looks with the action.
Incredibly weak,
right? Because it had its chance. It's like it had its chance to pull itself off the mat, right? We took out that low momentum level. You had your chance, and if it closes back down here with continuing negative slope on these lines, it's like, sorry, man, sorry, not sorry, but this is weak. And especially the NASDAQ is incredibly evident in it. But if the spoos recapture 36.95 and close back in lower momentum below 36.95, that's kind of like my line in the sand then,
right?
For really confirming how weak this complex is. And so it could, obviously it's a day and a half left. We could do anything between now and then. But that would really be another, oh my God, I can't believe how terribly these things finish the week. And we talk a lot about closes, daily closes, weekly closes, monthly closes, how important it is. So
yep.
That's it. That's what I'm saying.
That's what you're saying, huh?
That's what I'm saying. It's not showing me much here on the reversal of strength, especially in the NASDAQ, but getting closer and closer in those spoos if they can close them below 36.95.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I've got that same number for me. Like I told you, 36. Matter of fact, 36.90 is a big number on the chart. It's a 37.15 is the 50% retrace of this move that we just saw. So let me bring this up for you here. And again, the NASDAQ fully reversed itself again because it's bloody out there because of Meta and Apple, etc. But 11.7 all the way down 1,000 points here. And again, less than 2 weeks. We went up in less than 2 weeks and down. And like this whole thing is taking place in less than 4 weeks. Pretty amazing. I mean, we said that the bottom would be in the 15th, and now we're already November 3rd, and we're already fully reversed on the NASDAQ. The spoos have not. They held the 50 pretty much this morning. The 61.8 is down here at 36.64. Haven't even gotten close to that. I would have bought this morning, 36.90, if we saw it, but we did not see it, so I didn't buy it. That was just the low end of that. So that's just kind of what I see here, Bob, and really hasn't changed much.
All right, man. All right, Lee says by Rob, and I couldn't agree more, Lee. I couldn't agree more, and I'm going to share. I'm going to share how just easy it is. You just go to Amazon.com, type in Shrimp Mojo, and bingo, Shrimp Mojo. There it is.
It is.
What's nice too is you can get a nice fishing lure, so you can get the shrimp pattern.
But how about the crimping toolkit? What's that about too? What's going on there?
That's for the torture.
What's in this rub?
You buy the rub.
And there's and there's Friskies too. Jesus, what's going on? You got cat
you buy
food.
the rub.
You got cat food. You got fish.
Let me just tell. Let me tell you.
lures.
Let me tell you. You buy the rub. You buy the fish lure with the shrimp pattern, and then if that shrimp pattern doesn't work, you go with this cat food as your bait. It's bulletproof. I'm telling you, it's bulletproof. And then you can buy yourself a Christmas tree. You got to do 3. I'm not sure which 3 I'm doing. Anyway, I wanted to share that easy. Shrimp Mojo from Maja TV at anime.com, amazon.com. That's what I'm saying. All right, AOC. I hope you got $8 to spare. Matt, thank you so much.
$100 a year. I don't know if she'll be able to pull it off. I just don't.
$8 a month, 96, Matt. I just did math. $96 a year. Interesting, Matt. I saw another thread that is Elon going to have to pay Apple $3 of that, or $260 of that, because it's part of the app purchase. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know. These are relationships.
These are the questions we have.
Yes, exactly. We'll cover more questions tomorrow. Thank you, Matt.
We're at the high of the day on the SPOOs. We're at 56.50. Wouldn't be surprised. We're down 12 on the day. I wouldn't be surprised to see us turn green at some point. I don't know if we'll stay green. We got 3 hours left in the day, Thursday. Again, they washed them out. Now we're just testing kind of the lows of the overnight, which is right here at 37.60. So that's on the SPOOs. The NASDAQ has got some work to do yet. It is, for it to get to the lows that it traded at last night, it's going to have to get up to 10.9, which that's kind of been my target all morning. We're sitting here at 10.850 after shaking them out here in the last few hours, which again is what they like to do. They like to shake out everybody. Let's just take a look at that. Like this was, I thought, we had opening. We had a 848 down to like 790. That was our opening range to start with. We broke through that, went down almost $100, and then that was a 7 a.m. It's either 7 a.m. or 7:30, right? Either the 7 a.m. or the IB low. It tends to be a key level. That was a key one today, 7 o'clock, and that put in the low for the day. When we rallied off that, you had almost a 200-point rally, and this dip back in here, right around that 77 level, was fantastic, I thought. And again, you got to buy 77, and you're 77 down to the old low, right? So you're risking basically let's call it 80 points. Somewhere below here, 698, you're wrong. So if you're buying 77, which is the golden ratio, the fib number, that was a great area, right? And so you had one trade down, one trade up, and another. And I did not catch this down wave here, but I got long again. So 3 trades to the up, 3 trades, one down, one up, 2-way trading today, Bob. This is what traders live for. And if you understand kind of how the nuance and the basics of the market, you've had some great opportunities today, and great opportunities to put on size and make these trades. So just want to point that out, and we try to point out these levels again for our members.
And again, man, let me just reiterate that this script inside TradingView, this market profile script that changes the profile as you fractal in and out of time and gives you these slices. Obviously, it's two-sided. You can have too much information and confuse yourself. But if you kind of dial in on specific timeframes that you like to look at, it's an incredibly powerful profile tool that I have not seen replicated very well. Anyway, I just wanted to the script, and at marketvitals.io, that script is available. Thank you.
Yeah, and that's not insignificant, because I used to do this a lot with other platforms. They had order flow and profile, but this really allows you to set some size and some girth. And again, many of the brokers you can trade off the TradingView platform too. TradingView, you should be sponsoring us too. So there you go.
All right, Matt. Thank you.
All right, Bobby. Have a good Thursday afternoon. Rest of your morning here.
Right on. Yeah, it's cold. It's miserable.
Yeah, the sun's coming out. A little cooler here today, but sun's coming out again.
All right, pal.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Peace.